Another thing I see repeated through our company and all of society, and the reason I talk about all of society is we've got to see how we fit in the puzzle of this world. So, as people are changing, cultures are changing, and things are happening, and then how do we fit into the puzzle of this whole world, and how do we navigate through it? So, I see a lot of like disagreements, infighting, and all this kind of stuff. And at the heart of it, that's one of the biggest Achilles heels, one of the things that can bring down a company, an organization, a department, whatever it may be. You can crash things very quickly overnight. You've seen organizations with very key players leave all of a sudden. This week we have had one of our business managers leave as well, not on a bad note, just keep in mind that she was the workflow manager for the whole company. So hopefully we're able to keep things moving smoothly in the company. There's not any roadblocks in the processes because Dee was managing the whole processes from one section to the other. But anyway, so as each individual out there, plumber, whatever, in the office, if we follow the rules of this world, you can see that people are always in disagreement. There's just lots of disagreement. You see very little ability to have a disagreement and then just work together anyway. So I really need everyone to put a lot of emphasis in that and make sure that that happens, whether it's plumbers, whether it's the office or the operations, and really step in. And if you can see that a plumber or a subby are having a disagreement, you've really got to try to smooth out this disagreement. One of the techniques that I personally use is when I do see a disagreement, I take a second to just think about it, calm down emotionally, and sympathize with the situation. Okay, how do I look at it from that person's point of view? Then I look at it from the other point of view, and then I look at it from my point of view, and then I look at what is the outcome we're trying to achieve. So, and then I look at it and go, okay, say if I look at someone, I judge someone, like this person is quarrelsome. Quarrelsome means this person always starts fights. And I look at it, and it's very easy for me to say that that person is quarrelsome. And it may be true, may not be true, whatever. But it's not helpful. It's for me to judge that person and say, well, that person is quarrelsome. But end of the day, the fight exists, the solution is not there, the outcome is not there for the company. So we've got to get past that. So one of the things I tell myself is, that person is quarrelsome, starts fight, is very disagreeable, keeps fighting with everyone. Where in my life do I do that? Where in my personal life, my work life, inside my brain, whatever, when I play sports, where am I being quarrelsome? Am I being quarrelsome with my parents? And then I think about that and go, well, that person has an attribute that I have inside of me as well. And it sort of takes you into a mode where you're a bit more sympathetic with the situation. You can come to terms with it and go, it's not like that quarrelsome person is bad and I'm good, and it's not leading to any good outcome for the organization, because you're not getting any outcome from that. You're just going to be like, well, there's nothing we can do, that person is quarrelsome. So we don't really want that. So when you can sort of see that quarrelsome in themselves, and then I go, okay, well, what's the good thing about being quarrelsome? If you're just a pushover, if anybody can just make you do anything they want, that's going to be a bad outcome for your life. So sometimes having a bit of, your stance, your point of view is a good thing. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to be quarrelsome. It can be a good thing as well. So once I've come to terms with those things, then I'm like, all right, how can I find, without hurting their ego, a way to still achieve this outcome? So, whether it's calming them down, whether it's seeing another perspective, whether it's getting a helping hand to talk to them, and that's the same whether it's a client or a plumber, whether it's an organization. We don't want to go into the way of the world right now, which is a good example of how the world functions right now is Twitter. So it's like you have this side, you have that side, and there's constantly fighting. There's no middle ground. There's no eye to eye. There's no trying to see, well, I can see your point of view, I can see what you're trying to achieve, I can see what we're trying to achieve, how do we still both benefit? from the situation. So there's not much of that going on. It's more just like, you're a bad person, I'm a bad person. So I'm sure you've heard of these things before, but it is in the world, it is good people with good intentions. So good people that consider themselves good people, they do all the right things in the world with good intentions,